How do you find the surface area of a cylinder? Uh, excuse me. This is for section 11-2, and it's actually the second video for this section because we looked at the surface area of prisms, and now we're looking at the surface area of a cylinder. Here's a reminder of how your notes should be set up to take notes from this video. We already did video title number 2. We're on video title number, or excuse me, we already did video title number 1. We're on video title number 2. And there is no video title number 3. For surface area of a right prism, it was really simple to break apart the different shapes of the figure and then find the area of the different shapes. And in a sense, you could do it with the right cylinder, but we like to keep the answer always in terms of pi since we're dealing with circles for the bases. Excuse me, the top and bottom shapes. So this is our surface area formula of a right cylinder. And this is a formula you're going to need to reference, use, and memorize. So it's not as easy as the prisms. However, that's okay because you'll have to memorize formulas for volume as well. And remember, I gave you a formula sheet, and if you hold on to that, you can then use that for quizzes and tests in the future. So the surface area is 2 multiplied by the area of the base, one of the bases. So remember, the area of a circle is pi r squared. You want to write that down. And then it's perimeter times height. So if you notice that this formula is just like prism, but we have to put it into pi terms. So the area of the base is pi r squared, and then we multiply that by 2, and we get 2 pi r squared. And then the perimeter of one of the bases is, remember, circumference is the distance around a circle. And we don't call perimeter, we call it circumference, so that equals 2 pi r. And we're going to multiply that by h, okay? And that's the height of the cylinder. Here's the information that you can find in your book. Same exact thing, it's just that they didn't plug in the lateral area. So this now goes in for here. And notice it's the same exact formula as the one that we just previously wrote down. Okay, here's example number 1. Let's find the surface area of this right solid. So remember, right is where it's just standing straight upright, and then oblique was when it's kind of slanted. Here is our formula, nice and large. Let's plug in our known values. Our radius is 2, so we plug in r to be 2 here and here. And then our height of this cylinder is 6, so we plug that in here. We'll multiply 4 times 2, and we get 8 pi. And then 2 times 12 would be 24 pi. And since pi, we can treat it like a like term. So we'll combine, and we give our answer as 32 pi. Now notice this is our answer in terms of pi. So I'm going to take out my calculator, and I'm going to give my answer in terms of decimals. So I'm just going to do 32 in my calculator times pi, and that equals, oops, didn't do it, 32 times pi, and that equals, so this is roughly 100.53 centimeters squared. Okay? Both are correct. It just depends on what they ask for. They may ask for your answer in terms of pi, or may ask for your answer, and if they just say just your answer, you can put it in terms of decimals. Okay, here is example number 2. Ooh, that's a little funky. There we go. Example number 2. Once again, we just want to find the surface area of this cylinder. And we use our formula. Our radius is, I just realized how funky this looks. It's missing some information. Okay, the 8 is going for the diameter. And half of that diameter is going to be 4. So the radius is 4. I plug it in here and here. And then our height, here's our height. Even though the cylinder is on its side, that's still the height, so it's 12. I'll plug that in there. Then I multiply, and then I multiply here, and add them together to get 128 pi feet squared. Okay, here is our last example. Let's think about what if we had a cylindrical bass drum. So this is a bass drum here, and notice it's in the shape of a cylinder, so that's why they call it cylindrical. It has a radius of 5 inches and a depth of 12 inches. Find the surface area. You're still using the same formula. R now is 5 for the radius. The height is 12. We multiply. Don't forget to do exponents first. Then we combine like terms. which is just pi, and it's 170 pi, and you can also find a decimal by multiplying 170 by pi. Okay, so if you have any questions, bring your questions to class, and I encourage you to practice some out of your textbook. How do you find the surface area of a cylinder? We have just discussed how to do that, and I gave you some examples, and I gave you the formula. So, of course, you want to, in your summary, discuss by answering this question, how do you find the surface area of a cylinder? Explain it to me. Tell me the formula and tell me how to use the formula. Don't just tell me the formula is this, so use it. Because if I did that to you, you would be confused. I want you to explain it to me. So you would tell me how you would plug in the radius amount, how you plug in the amount for the height, and then how you would simplify the equation.